one of the engineering concerns of the swing is how to turn the hips, the pelvis, the entire pelvis, say 90 degrees. Around a lead leg where the ankle's bolted onto the ground. The knee is a flexion extension joint. It doesn't rotate.
No,
so people butt their head up against it. They can't turn through the ball because the foot's on the ground and the knee doesn't rotate.
And if they have their toe closed, they're loading into their knee.
Well, that's a problem, right? Yeah. It's a serious problem. So to my point, on the lead foot, you have the lead hip turned out, externally rotated. You can see that by like the seam of my pants.
Yeah.
And then when I come through from that, so that takes a large portion of it.
Yeah.
And then when I swing through, there'd be a little bit of, see how the seam turns? There's a little bit of additive external rotation in the stroke, in the lead hip. And then on the trail hip, if you just look at the seam on it, there would be a complementary, like internal rotation. See how the hip is internally
that lets you turn over.
Right? So, just on that, I can, hip turn, quote unquote. I can turn these hips just from I can move this stick just from the trail hip.
Yeah.
Right? So you see people all the time, they say, I can get more open, and they're always just doing the lead hip, right? And I would just say, hey, not for nothing, but the trail hip, the internal rotation of the trail hip is a big part of that for sure. So you have the feet turned out, you have the knees turned out, you have the hips externally rotated, you have a little additive internal, external rotation in both legs coming through. Okay? I'll explain how much and how that's metered out as I go along. Just got the idea of the motions. Then when I swing back, where the lead knee would flex and the trail knee would extend. They're flexion extension joints. That's what they're supposed to do. And the changing of the knee flex, the lead knee flexing, the right knee extending, would turn my hips on a tilt, not level to the ground. And that tilt is to the left, meaning it's tilted to the left. That is not a tilt to the right. That tilt is to the lead side, and not to the trail side. And if it was a tilt to the trail side, what would that do to the low point of the swing?
Round it back, shoot your alignments to the left.
Out.
Shoot to the right, out to the right.
Yeah. Outward. Shift the alignments out, move the low point back, shot tree 3.
Yes.
Okay, so feet out, knees out, change the knee flex, flex the left, straighten the right, turn the hips on tilt.
Yeah.
And then I would say, some people get the chance to write a book, so we'd have the left knee flex, the right knee extend, the hips turn on a tilt, so the left hip will go down, the right hip will go up, right?
Yep.
And then a person might say, okay, how much to do? Andy, I read your book about straightening the right leg. I have some person come to me like this. So I would say that the changing of the knee flex is equalized for the function of creating a stable axis. So come over here for a second. So I don't flex my knees too much, because if I flex my left knee too much, right, then my head would start to dip and I'd start to go down. So I don't flex and extend too fast, because that would increase my pelvic tilt. So I know how much to do. Okay, so now I change my knee flex. I turn my hips on a tilt. I move my hands in an arc around the axis of the body, the spine. It's its mechanical definition. The spine is the axis of the body.
Yep.
And I'm going to move the center, radius, and the built-in draw in an arc around the axis. Standing straight up and down, that would be pure rotation, only turn. Then I said that we don't play standing straight up and down. Before you got here, about first thing I said was golfers play on a tilt. So I don't stand erect.
Right.
So I don't just rotate. Meaning, if you stand behind me there, forward bend. And I try to rotate in the presence of that forward bend, keeping the forward bend the same,
Yeah.
and I only rotate, my head would be moved, translated in the direction that I'm turning.
Yeah.
See how I'm staying bent up? The same.
Right.
Only turn. And if I did the same thing on the follow through, if I only rotated and kept the forward bend the same, my head would be translated forward in the direction of the turn. So the point there is that it is the rotation, the turn, quote unquote, in the presence of the forward bend that translates the upper center, moves the head in the direction that it's moving. Meaning, the golfer goes with the club. You see now with a beginner, you're handing the club, they go back with the club,
Yeah.
they're coming through with the club, right? There's been